The 24-hour rule is in full effect, and it is time to switch over to Oklahoma. LSU has been put to bed. The Sooners are coming to town, bringing with them Alabama's toughest defensive test of the season. Stick around. We'll talk about it. We'll break this thing down by the numbers. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome into Way Offside, your favorite Alabama talk here on YouTube. Welcome in. The 24-hour rule is over. It is happened. It is gone, and we are done talking about LSU. We will reference LSU as well as other Alabama opponents as we look to Oklahoma. Oklahoma comes to town. Don't let their record fool you. This is a very dangerous team for Alabama to play at this time in the season. Alabama does have wiggle room for one more loss, but keeping in mind the fact that they've got to go to Jordan Hare and play that defense and that rejuvenated team that just put up over 500 yards of offense at Vanderbilt. Alabama doesn't need to drop this game this weekend. Luckily, there's some areas where the Tide has an advantage via the numbers, and we're going to talk about it. But do me a favor. In the comment section below, tell me what you want to see out of Alabama this Saturday, what your expectation is, what your predictions are. If you don't have any of that, just leave a big Roll Tide for me. And while you're there, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all the things. It helps us out. We'll keep bringing you content, down to earth content. Try not to take ourselves too serious because it's life and none of us are getting out of this alive. Right. All right. Let's look ahead. So obviously Alabama has been struggling their past two games offensively. The Tide has faced some really, really, really good pass rushes, and they've gone through a gauntlet in the Southeastern Conference, and it doesn't get any easier. Looking ahead to the Iron Bowl, that's going to be a tough defense with a really good pass rusher, an NFL day one pass rusher in Falk. Alabama's going to face very similar here with Oklahoma, potentially the best pass rush they played all season as a whole unit. We'll see. But on paper, Oklahoma looks to be a beast defensively, and they're no slouch on the offensive side of the ball as well. So what do the numbers say about Alabama's offense? Well, overall, we know right off the bat that Alabama cannot run the football. Alabama right now is ranked 119th in the country in rushing yards per game, averaging about 111.9 yards per game. I think they ran 59, something like that, against LSU. Well, Oklahoma's got a really, really good run defense. Okay. Oklahoma boasts, looking at it, so I've got it right here on my chart. Their rush defense is fourth in the country. They only allow about 83 yards a game, maybe 82. But they've only played one top 25 rushing offense, and that was Michigan. None of that matters, though, because Alabama has played good rushing defenses and mediocre rushing defenses, and they have not been able to run the football. Other side of that coin, defensively, Alabama's defense, their rush defense, has gotten better as the season's gone on. They have been known to give up the big explosive play, one or two a game. However, they rank 54th in the country now. Okay, 2 games into this thing, they were in the hundreds as in terms of rush defense. They're only allowing about 139.1 yards per game. They played 3 of the top 25 rushing offenses in college football so far in FSU, Georgia, and Missouri. It's absolutely bonkers there. Alabama's rush defense has definitely evolved and gotten a lot better as the season's gone on. But as we're talking offenses, Alabama's run game has not. Now, Alabama fans in general are holding out hope that somehow that's going to get fixed. I'm just going to pull the Band-Aid off. I don't think it's going to get fixed. I don't think it's going to change. There is an execution problem that I see when I watch these games, when I rewatch these games, when I kind of look at it and break it down. It's not necessarily the play calling. I know that Jeff on our lives really likes to kind of harp on the A-gap runs on first down. Sure, that's a problem, but ultimately Every other team runs that play a lot on first down too, right? So they should be able to run the play successfully. They're not. There's definitely some execution problems with the offensive line and the running backs. I don't think it's going to get better. I do think that Alabama's coaching staff recognizes that. I do think that they've tried to fix it. I just don't see. We're so late in the season. We're technically on week 12. I just don't feel like Alabama's run game is going to get any better. Even if it did, Oklahoma's going to shut it down. Every other run defense that is good that Alabama's played has been able to shut them down this season. Didn't matter how good they were playing. Honestly, there's not a team outside of Louisiana Monroe that Alabama has played that doesn't have a good run defense this year. Every single one of them have a really good run defense, unless you're running a, dual quarterback system, kind of like what Auburn did to Vanderbilt. Every defense Alabama's played has been built to shut down that traditional style offense that Alabama runs with Ty Simpson, and they've done a dang good job of it. And Alabama just hasn't had the backs to the consistency from their running backs to do it. Now, sticking with the offensive side of the ball, Alabama's passing offense is very good. We know that. It's very good when Ty Simpson is given time, when he's not in his own head. Right now, it ranks 13th best in the country. They're throwing about 291 yards a game. Okay. Now, Oklahoma's ranked 60th, throwing about 236 per game. Mateer has been a little banged up. He's been a little injured, had that hand surgery, came back, I think, probably a little bit too soon. So that number skewed for Oklahoma a little bit. Don't get it twisted. Mateer can sling that thing. And this is Alabama. This is their chance to come out, make a name for themselves. I think I'm going to look and double check right here. Oklahoma is still in the hunt for a playoff position with 2 losses. So a big win against Alabama in Tuscaloosa would bolt them up and make it a little bit more favorable. Now, what the Tide has going for them is they can drop this game and they've still got a 90-something% chance to make the playoffs if they win out. Even if they were to beat or lose this game and then lose to Auburn, they still got like a 45 to 50% chance of making the playoff. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's because of Alabama's slate and strength of record. So Oklahoma understands that they have to win this game to stay in playoff contention. This is an elimination game for them. Okay. Coming off of a bye week, Brent Venables and company are going to have something for Alabama locked and loaded, ready to go. Luckily for Alabama, they have one of the best pass defenses in the country. The Tide ranks 10th in the country, allowing 164 yards per game. Oklahoma's no slouch either, 22nd in the country, allowing about 182 yards per game. What's interesting about these stats is the only common opponent that they both had is Tennessee, and both pretty much did the same thing to Tennessee. Oklahoma, I believe, scored more points, but they allowed more points. If that's your cup of tea, it was 33-27. Alabama, Tennessee was, I'm double check it. Just want to make sure I tell you right. Yeah, 37-20. So Alabama actually scored more points and did not allow as many points. Obviously, Alabama's game was held in Bryant-Denny. Oklahoma went to Neyland and did what they did. Take that for what it's worth. I think that if Alabama can do a good job of stuffing Oklahoma's pass rush, stifling their pass rush a little bit and giving Ty Simpson some time, Alabama can probably expose that secondary. I don't know if the secondary is as good as everybody wants you to believe. They haven't played a ton of really good quarterbacks outside of Tennessee. In fact, they played Ole Miss, played Trinidad Chambliss, lost, and then Tennessee. So Alabama's played I think they played the second best passing offense in the country, obviously in Tennessee. Missouri was up there until Pribula got hurt. Vanderbilt was up there at one point in time. So we'll see. We'll see how the secondaries hold up against these really gunslinging quarterbacks. And Mateer can be put in that category. And I understand everybody's going to go, Oklahoma's not that good. Mateer's not that good. He was that good. He just got it. He just busted his hand up. So I think that this is going to be a low scoring affair. This is going to be a story about getting to the quarterback and affecting the quarterback. Now, who's most likely to do that? Well, we go and look at the sack records, right? Let's go look at that. Alabama's 64th in the country right now in sacks allowed. They're allowing 2 on average per game. Probably would be worse if Ty Simpson didn't have such good pocket presence, just because the offensive line is either spot on or they're not. Oklahoma is 3rd in the country in team sacks. They're averaging 4 a game. Right. So there's advantage Oklahoma right off the bat. And that's a big advantage, especially when you consider Alabama has not been productive on first down. They're playing a lot in 2nd and long, 3rd and long. So Venables is going to be able to pin his ears back and get after Ty Simpson. Now, Oklahoma is 91st in sacks allowed. Alabama is 67th in team sacks. They're averaging about 2 a game. They're getting better. They've discovered Yonze Pierre finally. LT Overton's playing pretty well. They're going to need some other guys to kind of step up here to help them out. But that is where this game's going to be won. This game will be won on 2nd and 3rd, 2nd long, 3rd and long, or just 3rd down, and pass rushing. Who's able to stuff the other's pass rush the best? Right now, I think Alabama opened, Alabama has opened as a pretty big favorite, surprisingly. Alabama currently is, where are we? I want to make sure I tell you guys the right stuff, so I always Google it, even if I've got it written down, just because I can't remember. I believe Alabama opened as like a 7.5 point favorite or something like that. Excuse me. No, right. And this says it's a 12.5 point favorite. Take the under. Definitely take the under. These are 2 really good defenses. Alabama's played better offensives all the way across the board, but Oklahoma's played 2 really good offenses. They played one team that had a mediocre offense with a pretty solid defense and just torched them. That would be Texas. So Ole Miss is no slouch on the offensive side of the ball. So it's safe to say that this isn't one of those defenses that is they just look good on paper. This is a good defense. This is a good defense in every facet. I think that they're good. They're very good in the secondary. They're very good at the line of scrimmage. If they have a weakness, it's at the linebacker position, but their linebackers are solid too. Very similar to what Alabama looks like. Alabama is just not having the success getting to the quarterback that Oklahoma's having. So can Alabama's O-line hold up against Oklahoma? Tennessee was one of the worst offensive lines in the country. Joey Aguilar was taking a lot of sacks. So we take that game out of the equation and kind of look at what Oklahoma's done in other games, and they've been pretty relentless. They've been pretty solid all the way across the board. It doesn't really matter who the opponent is in getting to the quarterback. So Alabama's offensive line is going to have their work cut out for them. Coach Cap, Ryan Grubb, Kalen DeBoer have got to figure out a way to neutralize that pass rush early on, get Ty Simpson comfortable. If they can get Ty Simpson comfortable, I'm confident Ty Simpson obviously is the better quarterback here. I think Alabama's got the better offensive weapons. The trick is going to be, can Alabama give Ty Simpson time to do what he needs to do? Offensive line hasn't done that. They didn't do that well against LSU. They didn't do it well at South Carolina. LSU's a pretty good defense, despite what anybody else is going to tell you. And so I think South Carolina's is better than it looked as well. They got some starters back for that game. Seems like folks are resting up for the Bama games. But yes, Alabama doesn't have a sharp edge statistically across the board outside of Ty Simpson. Again, right? Looking at LSU, it was very similar in that sense. Looking at South Carolina, it was very similar in that sense. Oklahoma does We talked about it. They don't run the ball great. They're 97th in the country. They're averaging about 137 yards per game on the ground. So 26 yards more than Alabama is averaging. So offensively, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see where this is going, right? This is going to be a defensive battle. A lot of field goals, potentially. It's probably going to look a lot like the LSU game, to be honest with you. Coordinators are going to be very important in this game. The game plan, the scheming, how they scheme it up. Ryan Grubb is going to have to call a really good game here. And it'll help Alabama because they're going to have to go do it again in 2 weeks at Jordan Hare. So this would be a very, very good warm-up, I guess you could say. So now there's a couple of things, X factors, right? Some variables that we can talk about. Obviously, this game is in Bryant-Denny. It was played in Norman last year. There is that revenge factor for Alabama coming off a loss. I do to Oklahoma last year. I do think that Alabama was sluggish a little bit against LSU because they were coming off of a bye week. I do think that Alabama has a tendency to play down or up to their opponent. We've seen that. They played terribly against FSU. They played terribly against South Carolina, LSU. You know, everybody had LSU dead to rights. Alabama did not play well against them. But when they get a big game with a lot of attention, they typically play up. So Georgia, for instance. So if Vanderbilt, we can keep going, Tennessee. So if Alabama's offensive line can do their job, if they can protect Ty Simpson and give him the time he needs, Ty Simpson can shred them apart. He can. He absolutely can. Alabama's got I don't care how good your secondary is. Alabama has too many offensive weapons, right? There's going to be somebody that Simpson can get the ball to. LSU had most Alabama's receivers locked down a lot of that game. And there were a couple of instances where somebody got open, but really, I mean, once the ball was snapped, those DBs were on Alabama's wide receivers. But Ty was able to find guys, Josh Cuevas, Jam Miller out of the backfield, right? Alabama's quick game is going to be very, very important here. And Alabama's going to want to play time of possession. But that's going to be difficult because this is going to be the best defense overall Alabama's played all season. This is the one that everybody's been looking at, and it makes them nervous. And I get it. I understand. But because of those variables, those X factors, I do believe that Alabama will get this one done. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think we all need to have baby aspirin and blood pressure cuffs next to us on Saturday during this game. Keep checking your heart rate, change it, couple change of clothes, whatever you need to do, superstition wise. But I think Bama will squeak one out here. I do. I'm not going to give you my final score yet. Prediction, I'll do that Thursday night on the live at 8 o'clock. But via the numbers, there's a lot of even, right? Alabama has the better passing offense. They've got the better secondary. Statistically speaking, the problem, again, comes down to third down, second and long. When, those down and distances to where a defensive coordinator can call up a blitz and really pressure Ty Simpson, right? Which quarterback plays better against the blitz? For me, it's definitely Ty Simpson. Definitely Ty Simpson. But Brent Venables is a master at, getting after a quarterback. And it makes me nervous. It makes me a little nervous here. But, again, I do think Alabama tends to play up to competition. I think they'll be ready for this one. I think they understand that after this one, it's one more, and then you're looking at the SEC championship with already being a lock for the college football playoff. I think they understand that. So Ryan Grubb's going to earn a paycheck this week, big time. Kane Womack's going to earn a paycheck this week, big time. That Alabama defense has kept Alabama's offense in some games this past 2 weeks. They've got to flip the switch and turn it around at some point in time. Why not against Oklahoma, right? Bring Oklahoma in. Let's see what the Tide can do. Tell me what you think your final score predictions will be below. There you have it. That is Alabama and Oklahoma by the numbers. Again, Alabama gets a slight edge. In the secondary, they get the slight edge. In the passing game, Oklahoma and Alabama are pretty much even in terms of running the football. In terms of rush defense, Oklahoma is fourth in the country. Alabama's 54th in the country. So you got to give the nod to Oklahoma. In terms of passing defense, yeah, I already said that. Alabama's a little bit better. Oklahoma's no slouch. But again, this game is going to come down to affecting the quarterback. And Oklahoma, so far on paper, has done that better than Alabama. Not to say that Alabama is a slouch and can't do it, but yeah, Oklahoma is definitely better all the way around right now. But we'll see. We shall see, because Yonze Pierre, again, and I feel like I say this every week, Yonze Pierre is going to be very important in this game, right? He's going to be very, very important in this game. Blitz packages are going to be very important in this game. Kane Wilmot's going to have to call up some stuff, potentially some exotics, and some things that we don't want it to look, we don't want to empty out the middle of the field type deal like he tends to do. So linebackers are going to have to play very, very well, affect the quarterback. That's the name of the game. So we're going to be looking at third down. We'll be watching Alabama's offensive line. Third down, we'll be watching Mr. Pierre. Thanks for sticking around with me. Absolutely love each and every one of you. We'll be talking more about this game throughout the week, so please stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. Makes life easy. You can also follow us on social media. It's Way Offsides Way with 4 A's, never 3, never 5, always 4, just like in the word Alabama. Hey, I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope that your work week starts out fantastic. To each and every one of you, thank you for sticking around with us. Love you as always. Say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too, and Oklahoma too. Roll Tide.